Hi, it's Sean, and you're listening to The 3 Month Vacation. As you probably know, reading among children has dropped precipitously. The National Endowment for the Arts was more than a little concerned because adult reading had dropped 10 percentage points in a single decade. However, the slump was a lot worse for teens and early adults. Then along came Harry Potter. Suddenly, 6 out of 10 children changed their minds about reading. My nieces, for example, worked their way through 4,224 pages of Harry Potter and then went on to the Percy Jackson series. And while Harry Potter sold hundreds of millions of books, the Percy Jackson series still managed a staggering 35 million copies. Then, just as suddenly, the reading dried up. Why? Did the kids suddenly hate reading again? No, that's not the case at all. Kids stated that they were reading more, much more, because they started with Harry Potter. 65% also said that they did better at school since reading the books. So why did reading decline all of a sudden? The answer is in school buses. Remember how you and I went to school as kids? We didn't clamber into a giant gas-guzzling SUV. Instead, at a particular time, we'd wave goodbye to our parents, walk down the road to the bus stop. But then the decades roll along, and then we are in 2022, and over half of the students used a private car to get to school. In countries where cars are not the primary mode of transport, people often clamber onto motorcycles. Now, there are many reasons why people can't take the bus. These include budget cuts, driver shortages. There are other factors, but the biggest reason is remarkably linked to Harry Potter. Kids stopped reading as much because their friends stopped doing so. If you're the only one in school with a load of books, you're considered weird. As humans, we're all looking for external cues. If all the parents are taking their kids to school by car, maybe we should too. In a world where parents are overworked, they spend as much as 2 hours a day getting kids to and from school. That environment, the parent environment, the school environment, decides what we need to do. Otherwise, we are quickly excommunicated. You can't convince a 12-year-old that a mobile phone isn't crucial, and you can't persuade parents that the school bus makes sense. That's because they take their cues from the outside world. We think about free will and we think that we make our own decisions. Yeah, we do, kind of, sort of. But it's the environment that decides how we behave. Take almost anyone who drives in a country like India, and you will find that they honk their horn a lot. Even on empty roads, the horn is used endlessly. I have actually been in a tuk-tuk, and I could see 1 kilometer ahead. It's dead straight, and the guy is honking on his horn. For no reason. Because that's the way he grew up. That was his environment. So you take that person, put them on a plane, and let's say the person lands in Bangkok. Let's say then the person rents a car. The first time they honk, they get stares from other motorists. The second time, it's a similar set of stares. Within a matter of hours or days, their behavior radically changes. Now, assume that person lives in that city for a while. They adapt to that environment. They stop honking. They start behaving like other motorists. But this is not the end of the story. After a while, you put them back on the plane, send them to where they came from, and the honking begins again. So the environment plays a much bigger role than you give it credit for. We tend to find our comfort with books which say, you can change your habits, but you can only make temporary fixes. The people who change their behavior almost overnight tend to be in a different environment. Just deciding that you'll go to bed early isn't going to help you if you live in a country that sleeps late. Kiwis, Australians, even Japanese will have finished their meals by 6 p.m. Italians, Greeks, Spaniards, Indians, much of Asia will still be snacking at that time. So if everyone around you is still up, you're pretty much like the only kid in school without a smartphone. You're considered the weird one. Often you don't even have to go outdoors because an internal environment can prevent you from going ahead with your plan. Maybe you decided, okay, I'm going to go to bed early. However, if your partner sleeps late, there's little point in going to bed early. You're going to be disturbed. And that internal environment is not just when you step out of the house. It's on your desk, your phone screen, your playlist, the people in your chat window. Every one of them is quietly shaping your behavior. We believe in grit, discipline, willpower. This is what drives change. But even the most determined person struggles when the environment is working against them. However, you can also make it work in your favor. Just as kids stopped reading when the cues disappeared, we can deliberately design cues back into our lives. You want to read? Leave your book on the pillow. Keep the page open. Keep the phone in another room. And most importantly, sit next to people doing the things that you want to do. That's the most important of all. If you're sitting next to people doing the things that you want to do, that's how you're changing your environment. Environment plays an outsized role, but only if there's some design behind it. When I joined a French course last December, the environment looked perfect. Real people, real energy. It was a perfect classroom, but it was chaos in design. There was no sequence, no accountability, nothing, no design. But when you encounter a well-designed environment, everybody benefits. People stop honking, they start reading, they go to bed earlier, and they do the things that they know are beneficial to their needs. We like to think that change happens from the inside out, that if we shift our mindset, our world will follow. And that's true. But most lasting change, and this is lasting change, happens from the outside in. The right environment shapes our attention, and then attention shapes our reality. That last line was a mouthful, wasn't it? Okay, here it is again. The right environment, when you're sitting next to the right person, and there is some design in place, well, that's what shapes your reality. Without design, the environment is just noise. And with design, it becomes a silent teacher. So first, if you want to change things, if you want to make this your best year ever, as people say, well, you have to change your environment. When you change your environment, look for design, and there you have it. That's how habits really change. Otherwise, plop, we fall down, and then we think we're not good enough. No, your environment and the design of your environment, that's not good enough. This brings us to the end of this podcast. Let's find out what's happening in psychotactics land. We're having a 2-day strategy workshop in Frankfurt at the end of April. If you're interested, send us an email. It's at sean@psychotactics.com. There's also going to be a meetup in Athens, Greece, because that's where we're headed in early April. That's going to be very early in April, 3rd or 4th of April. I don't have the exact dates again. It's all on the Psychotactics website, so have a look. And we're also going to start up a protege session. This is going to be 6 months. It's going to be if you want to really turn your business around. It's not cheap. It's going to be expensive. We'll have more details. I know we've been announcing this for a while, but we've only just got back to work. So we'll put up more details and you'll know about the protege sessions. I'll say bye for now. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, join 5000 BC. There's a lot of exciting stuff, including vanishing reports in 5000 BC. This is stuff that you can't get anywhere on the internet. Why? Well, because we kind of invented vanishing reports, but also because it's very cool. You get information about behavior change, how things work, etc., and you'll really love it. So go to 5000bc.com and get yourself on that membership list. Yes, it's another membership. Get rid of the other ones if you need to. And you'll see how 5000 BC is really good for your personal growth as well as a business owner. Okay, that's it. Bye for now. Still listening? One of the things that you might not know is that Renuka didn't grow up in India. She grew up in Singapore and mostly in Kuwait. So she doesn't speak Hindi. Well, she's in the right environment, I could say. This year, she decided to start learning Hindi. And partially because I'm learning multiple languages as well, it kind of shows you that when you're in the environment where nobody is learning languages, there is almost a very low to zero chance of you learning a language or learning a new skill. And when everybody around you is doing something, then you start to think, oh, I could try that as well. If the other person gives up, then you give up as well. So it's kind of a chain reaction. And you'll see this for all of your habits, or what do you call habits? Everybody starts eating muffin for breakfast at the office. Guess what? Yeah, that's right. Environment shapes your life. Now forget about your habits and change your environment. Bye for now, and see you in 5000 BC.